Hi, this is Shirley Lou. Welcome to another show episode, Focus in Finance. You know what? For the past couple of weeks, we talked so much about health. We talked so much about wealth. We talk about strategies in retirement and the kind of things that's happening. One of the things that I really want to get down to heart today, you guys, have a candid conversation with you of what's happening. Okay. Well, as you know, I went to Las Vegas for one of a big meeting in the summer. And you know, the feeling when you go to Las Vegas and things like that, you feel like is the city that does not sleep. It's kind of like New York City and those kind of things, you know. And as I'm traveling around different city, whether it's Vegas, Miami, or New York, or, you know, things, the vibe are not the same. Myrtle Beach, even all those areas where you see tourism is really down a lot. People are not, you know, spending as much, people are not vacationing as much, and of course, you know, with the situation that's happening around, you know, foreign country, a lot of folks are not taking vacation here. Whether I go vacation here, I go in a foreign country, they have such a different view of the U.S. and the way where they want to spend their money. And the reason I bring that up is because, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, whatever happened to the economic condition around us will affect your money. So let me tell you, it will affect your money. Things are dynamically changing constantly all day long. And you know, I get people asking me all the time, hey Shirley, they want to change this retirement plan. They want to change that retirement plan. They're thinking about allowing investing into the world of unregulatory, uncharted territory, stuff like that. All I can tell you is this: I want to be able to talk to you candidly about the kind of things where you, as of today, can be able to safeguard that money. No, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, you know, with the money. All I know is right now, whatever you're paying for, spending, it's going up and up. And things are costing 20, 30, 40, 50% more. Is your income increasing by 30, 40, 50% more? No, it's not. You'd be lucky if your boss calls you in and said, hey, today, you know, you get a 4 or 5% pay raise. You're sitting here, when your boss calls in, you just hope that he doesn't tell you you're being laid off. What I'm trying to tell you is that you need to take proactive approach right now about your money, where it's going, how it's going, and you better save that for that rainy day. Because guess what? So some of you guys may say to me, well, Shirley, I've got myself pretty financially secure, right? Hey, I've got plenty of retirement. I've got my 401k. I've got my TSP. I've got my 403b, 457 plan. That's great. At least you proactively plan on that, right? But here's the bigger question. Can you afford to lose whatever you have? If you tell me right now, Shirley, I've got $500,000 in my retirement plan, I could afford to lose $50,000 of it, then fine. Then you need to keep it where it is. But if you're telling me that, no, I cannot afford to lose $50,000 out of my $500,000 retirement plan, then you need to listen to this. Because there are next generation of retirement stuff out there that is available today. Let me tell you, it is available as of you and I speak. And by the way, not everybody's going to proactive talk about this, and not everybody's going to like what I'm about to say, but it doesn't matter. For those who's willing to listen, it's kind of those, you know, where I warned you, I told you so, don't tell me later on you regret and you're sorry you didn't hear. It's important to diversify your money. Take some of that money out to protect some of that. And the rest of you guys want to take your money and play a game in the market, it's okay, you can do that. But play with the money that you can afford to lose. Here's why I want to talk about your retirement plan. You know, it's got to a point where, you know, what if you had an account where it can give you the growth because you want the growth, but what if I can tell you there's no loss? I keep talking about this all the time, and not everybody heed to the stuff that's coming, you know? Because let me tell you, all it takes is 1 to 2 market correction. That's all it takes. All it takes is something that's 2008, and most of you will be wiped out or lose half of your retirement or 30, 40% of it. Can you afford to do that? Do you think it could happen? Let's say I'm telling you the side, the dark and gloomy that could happen. And let's say for some reason that didn't happen. 4 years later, you look back at this video, you look back at this TV thing, oh, that lady, Shirley Lou, on on television telling people the doom and gloom that's going to happen. You know what, guys? I hope I am so wrong. Here's why. I hope I'm so wrong that everything I'm telling you that it doesn't happen, things are not going to go, because everything I predict today does not go. Because you know why? In what I'm telling you on the index performance product, if I'm wrong, you will make a ton of money. Let me repeat. If I'm wrong, you still make a ton of money. When was the last time we could be so wrong and still be so right? Well, that's what I love what I do. It's because the opportunity for me to help you protect your money when I need to, and for you to gain the money still when the market does perform. So it's one of those things where you have the best of both worlds. I know people said out there, you can't have the cake and eat it too. Well, what if I told you you could? What if I told you there is vehicle when it comes to your money and things like that, where you can protect it, where you can make money, where you can do amazing things with money, where you can create additional money. It's about creation of wealth. Look, what I love to do is working with people in my team and I at Shirley Luu Associates. We take a look at here's what you got. We look at it and we say, keep it, change it, keep it, change it. No, that's what we do. And we do it, guess what? The financial education literacy at no charge, because we believe you need to know of what's going on in life. And if we can be able to be instrumental in communicating that, school, let's talk about school for a little bit. That's so often, I've got high school kids that I meet all day long. And these high school kids don't even know how to write a checkbook. Why is that? Because they should be taught at a very early on stage what does it mean by saving and checking? What does it mean on a credit card? And I tell you, even my daughter, she's the sweetest. I love her to death. One day when she was little, she's in high school and stuff like that. And she thought credit card were. It's so funny, right? And I believe in creating early credit for kids. You need to establish credit early. So I tell my daughter, go get a credit card. And she goes, Mom, I was told credit card are bad. No, credit card are not bad. It's how you use the credit on your credit card and how you manage it that is either bad or good. So anyway, so she got this credit card. It's really funny. She got the credit card, and 6 months later, I'm looking at her and I'm saying, hey, honey, I've noticed that you haven't charged anything on your credit card. She goes, oh, Mom, I didn't charge anything on my credit card is because I don't have the money to put in there first to have it in there before I could charge. She thought it was like a debit card. She thought it was like a debit card where you can't charge things unless you have the money. It was just so funny. But you see how basic, fundamental stuff like that are not being taught because a lot of kids don't know. And credit card's not a bad thing because it's the very, very first foundation of establishing who you are. Are you dependable? Are you responsible? Can you pay your bills on time? It tells me how good a person is, in managing their money and those kind of things. So that's why those credit card things is important. Look, if you live in the United States, USA, I don't care. If you don't have credit, you can't buy anything. It's the first time in a country that I realized that you have to owe money to prove your worthiness. Isn't that weird? Other countries like, hey, cash is king. Well, here, sometimes cash is not always king. I can't go into a dealership and bring a $50,000 cash to pay for a car. Then they call me maybe money laundering. Where you get this $50,000? So you have to live in the world where we, basically credit is necessity. It is not a bad thing, But managing it, being able to pay it on time, and knowing when you have credit, pay less than one third of your balance is always. I mean, if you can pay it all off one time, it's beautiful. And there are so many things that, probably in the next episode where I can talk to you a little bit about more on the credit side of it. Even a credit card, I tested out the other day, right? One day, my credit's in 800, and the next day I said, in 30 days, can I bring it all the way? It's pretty low, right? Losing like 100 points. You know what I did, guys? I did the things where I start charging up my credit. I maxed my credit, but I knew I was going to pay it off, okay? So don't go out there, max up and not pay it off, okay? I was able to do it just to see what it does on the credit. So I maxed up my credit card. Oh my God, my credit from 800 went down to like 700 points. It killed me in 30 days, 100 points. And I'm like, how in the heck did that do that? Because what happened was credit card company reports of what you buy and what your balances is up. When you exceed above certain credit limits on your credit card and you charge too much, that could be detrimental to your credit score. So the next month, naturally, I paid it off and I said, let me see what this thing does. And guess what? It brought my credit score way back up again. It's so funny. So when you talk about, oh, can I change my credit in 30 days, 40 days, 60 days? Yes, you can. Can I change my life 30 days, 40 days, 60 days? Yes, you can. Can you change your finances 30, 40, 60 days? Yes, you can. It's just in the mindset, whether or not are you willing to make that the distance of changes to your life and doing things sometimes you're uncomfortable of doing. Look, I've always loved, sharing the financial education out, the word out there. I think the more knowledge, the better, the more power you have. And at the end of the day, guys, it's about, understanding about money, where it's coming from, and how do I get more money. And if you don't have money, if you contact me, I'll show you how to make money as well. So if you want to get in touch with me and my team, just reach out Shirley Luu Associates at 703-608-1203. We'd be happy to share you the information. At the same time, look, I've always believed in that we help each other. We rise by uplifting others. And it starts with us today. So until next time, I will see you. Shirley Luu.